What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Rod, and this is All Access at the Universal Currency Chambers headquarters, and we're here to sit down with the CEO, Day, aka Deyquan. So let's go, Harlem. Let's go check him out. First question I'm gonna ask you: what do Harlem mean to you?
Man, Harlem mean everything to me. This home, this is what the soil that raised me. You know what I came from, what made me. Everything that I am is a rendition of Harlem, from the toughness to the focus, to the ambition, to the style, to the vision. You know, it all started in Harlem. It started on 155th, 8th Avenue, Building 1, low side. So you couldn't really have me without having Harlem.
Coming up in Harlem, growing up in the legendary, historic Polo Ground.
Yep.
Tell us about
Man, it was a blessing. A lot of people, may focus on some of the negative things, right? You might talk about gang stuff or violence, anything like that. Those elements was there, but that wasn't something that I would say I would harp on or really shaped it. It was more like the byproduct of those things really make a person. So if you take violence, you saying people was hungry. So I took the hunger, I took the passion, I took the courageousness from it. You know, we had a real close knit group. You talking about polo grounds, we may necessarily not have been welcomed everywhere. You know, we might have had a static with this or that. So we stayed close to each other. So my closest relationships, my best friends, the people that I learned the most from, all within those four buildings. You know what I mean? And that tight knit neighborhood. So that's really what I took from the neighborhood, and also still sharpens steel. I come from an era, a generation where you couldn't just claim something, you had to really be that. So whatever you was, whether you was a basketball player, whether you was a street person, whether you was a school person, we gonna test that cloth and wanna know if that's really who you are. So the neighborhood really made me stand on what I had to stand on. Whatever I picked in life, it was a lot of tests amongst my own people, because they felt like we can't let you go out to the world and say you represent polo grounds and you not be real right, you not be standing on commitments. So if you're gonna represent us, we gotta make sure that you are that. So again, other people might have took it as like hating or people or acting funny. I always took it as they trying to make sure that you're gonna be who you say you are and be a positive representative of the neighborhood. So yeah, my whole cloth again is polo grounds. If you see me, this is polo grounds. Deyquan Nesbit.
how important is it to giving back to the community,
Okay.
educating?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Again, just going back to my upbringing, the way I was taught was the old heads gave us a lot of game, whether it was on a basketball court or you just in the neighborhood, somebody pull you to the side, whether you was doing right or wrong. So it was like a each one teach one type of community. So it's really in my DNA to want to give back and kind of stand on the shoulder of those giants. However far they took it, it's incumbent upon our generation to take it further than them. So my way of giving back, I had a lot of people that I looked up to, not really just from here, but in general, from Elijah Muhammad to Minister Farrakhan to Malcolm X to Noble Drew Ali, all those type of people, Claude Anderson, James Smalls. I looked up to those type of people, and I got to go further than them. And I think a lot of them was able to uplift the consciousness of our people, right? Tell us to believe black is beautiful, or give us discipline. We could pray or get off the drugs or treat our women a certain way or raise our children. I always thought that missing piece was that currency. After I love myself and after I'm praying and all, I still got to feed my family. So I think my way to give back is to use my skills as it pertains to the financial industries and really making bread in the right way and keeping it circulating in our community. I think that's my best way, to give back, is to give people a way to provide for themselves and all of the generations that come beyond them.
Um, Universal Currency Chambers.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Man, so really, it got a connotation to the Uniform Commercial Code, right? So that's kind of like if you pay attention to the sovereign movement and the uniform commercial codes, kind of give you some game on like what governs commercial and trade, right? So we'll have people that'll say like the Constitution governs this and the commercial codes govern that and all of that stuff. So when I really started to research those things, it really was a play on those words. Because if you take out like a UCC 1, it'll put a lien on your property on a loan agreement. And you take a UCC 3, that will like release your property. So I made 2 UCC companies, right? Like leaning and then releasing, keeping the currency amongst ourselves. So universal means all things, right? And it encompasses all things. Currency is not just money, but it's electric, right? So if you got a flow, you got the current, like river or ocean, and then I got current, that's like being of the now, you know what I mean? Then I have like a current, that's like electric, right? So I want all things that flow through our community, and then a chamber, something that houses it. So here in this place, all things community that deals with prospering us and making us better is gonna be housed here, everything from A to Z. So that's really kind of the etymology or the breakdown of the word, and then or the words rather, and then kind of what we're gonna stand on. This is a super center. So the same way you go to Walmart and get Tylenol and you get a tire, or you get a BB gun, you get some weights. Same thing here. You're gonna be able to come and get all of your resources, right here in the heart of Harlem.
Why was it important to put UCC here in Harlem?
Yeah.
On your stomping grounds?
Yep.
Why was it important to put it here?
I mean, it was important because I wanted to be present, in my community. It's easy to kind of take your money and run off, right? Or whatever it is. It don't got to be money. I don't want to make it seem like money is everything. Whatever your resources is, your talent, you go away to college, and then I end up in Silicon Valley. I end up in Calabasas, or I end up in Beverly Hills. But I would just be, for lack of a better term, man, keep it real, just another nigga. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to be the low man on the totem pole. I've been somebody here since I've been 11 years old. You know what I mean? You could check their resume. Deyquan Nesbit. A lot of people in the neighborhood know me as Quills. I've been somebody here for 20-something years now. So why not go where you somebody? You know what I mean? Where you mean something. And it's not just based on how much money you got. You can't really buy your way into Harlem. You know what I mean? You kind of got to be of it. And I wanted to be back with my people and really do something that mattered. I did a lot of things in life that don't matter. You know what I mean? And it might have made money, or it might have did something in another realm or another light, but it ain't matter to me, honestly. I remember my pops used to say to me when I was younger, like I was real polo ground crazy. My pops from St. Nick. So I'll go down there, you feel me? I'll be getting into it with the young kids there, and I'm polo grounds. And he's like, yo, is the block gonna love you back? You feel what I'm saying? Like the way you love it. I'm like, yeah, dude. And yo, we standing on that. The block love me. It love me. I'm somebody here, so I had to do it here. Whatever I was gonna do was gonna be here. And it wouldn't be me if I did things in another place.
Talking about financial literacy, giving back to Harlem, who installed that into you? Like, who put that in you? Like, where did that come from?
Yeah, I don't think it was necessarily like one person. Kind of like Jay-Z said, man, you are who you are for you got here. I think this is just always me. And I was a basketball player, in a past life. And I love basketball, and that was my way of like representing. You go to another neighborhood and you got to play against each other, or whether you even a school versus a school, or AU or Z. I always had an immense love and loyalty for whatever I was down with. I'm a soldier. I'm a warrior at heart. You know what I'm saying? So whatever I was going to do, it always felt right to do it with who I felt like was my people. And no matter what I did in life, the people here, this community always stood with me, whatever it was, So I don't know if it was like, I could say my mother, or I could say my father, or aunt, or uncle, or something like that, but they necessarily wasn't there when I went outside, and I felt that thing. I can't even tell you what it is. I feel it right now while we sitting here, you know what I mean? When I walk on my block and everybody, it's a different type of love. If you could come outside with me and see the way people respond to me and treat me here, it's different. You know what I mean? It's a different type of love, and I feel that. And I think I always knew that. And sometimes you be fighting against yourself. You might go a corporate route or you go this and that, and you trying to tell yourself what other people told you. You know, get rich and lead the hood, or fuck the hood, or they gonna, you know, Nipsey died in the hood, shit like that. You know what I mean? You gonna hear that all the time, but here is different, with me, and I think that's what it always been.
You're FDA alum.
Yeah.
What is missing now at FDA or in the school system?
Oh yeah.
Like, you don't have financial literacy.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that's needed today in the schools?
Yeah, I haven't really been so much actively involved in the school systems, so I don't want to cast a wide net, you know what I mean, and be talking out of turn. But from my recent experience over the last couple months, I would say the leadership structures are not there. And that's kind of the premise of a UCC, right? It's so that we can make leaders. So you're in a public school system, and it's no disrespect, but it's not, I haven't seen it. I don't want to say they ain't there, but I ain't see no real leaders, because why? You got to take government funding. You got to teach this curriculum that they telling you to teach. You got to abide by so many rules and regulations that's not of you and for you. You see? So it's hard to be a leader when I'm under so much, or you or that person's under the control of another entity that's really built, the machine is built for the destruction of your people. So we got to get off the public school system, or we got to infiltrate the system.
But how do our people,
yeah,
our color,
yep,
come together though, put the pride to the side and build together, like find it, like
yeah,
bringing money to the community, like it's not enough of that being
no, I would agree with you.
Without the government.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be no overnight thing, because we ain't getting this position overnight. We had communities that were 100% black owned, finance and things like that. If you go look at your Winston-Salem, North Carolinas, you go look at your Tulsa, Oklahomas, you go look at your Memphis, Tennessees, those are what I know off the top of my head. Probably another 50 of them that we could have named. We've been talking about Harlem for 20 minutes. Harlem was one of those communities, you know what I mean? So, but we in 24 about to be, right? We 3 days before 2024. It took us 100 years from 1924 to get into this bad situation we're in. It might take us 500 years to get out this situation. We need more people that's committed to that, though. You feel what I'm saying? The first thing I led with, what I said, I'm a warrior, I'm a soldier. How many soldiers we got? We got to, like Nas said, we need more warriors soon. We got to build people that's ready to live by what they do. People like, I'm going to die for this. You only can die one time. I'll shoot you in your head, nigga, you out of here. But can you live for it? Every day you got to get up and do this shit. Tomorrow, and then tomorrow after that. So we need them type of people. And it starts with these, like you said, these type of interviews, being able to commune with each other, because you're going to help elevate me in life. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to help elevate you. And that's really what we do. Money is a byproduct of love, of hard work. Every motherfucker you see with 100 million, 100 billion, they put a lot of time in. So we just got to start putting time in with each other. And the more time we put in with each other, the money going to come behind that. So I think, it starts now. I think we're in a good space, though. We see all type of people working together, putting colors to the side, putting prejudice to the side, whatever they had against each other. So I think we're in a good spot, man. We just got to keep going. And we may not see it in our lifetime or in the 5 or 10 years, but we're going to see it. You just got to stick to it.
How do we bridge the gap with your generation, the new generation,
yeah,
and maybe our grandparents or our parents? How do we bridge that gap? Because it's broken.
Yeah, it is.
So how can we bring it together?
Man, I think people, we all got to go off our experience. I'm a big person of knowledge through experience. You could talk some shit, but if you ain't never did it or really been of it or around it, it's going to be hard to really know what's going on. I think that communication is key. So you remember when we was growing up, who we listened to, our parents and grandparents was like, oh, that rap music, such and such. Now we hear whatever they got going on, and then we like, yo, so we got to be able to communicate with each other. You know what I mean? And not be so much judgmental upon each other or think you know it all. You can't tell your mother nothing. You can't tell your father nothing. You might have read 3,000 books. You try to tell your mother, mother, I'm going to know more. Like your dad, you don't know this, though. So I think we got to get rid of that I know it all mentality. Even if you do know it, hear the young brother out because they might say something that might spark your mind, like, oh, I knew this, but I ain't think of it from that angle. We just shut down the youth and say, I know more than you. Shut up and do what I say. We got to open that forum because a lot of times I know how we felt talking to our parents or grandparents, auntie, uncle. You ain't really want to holler at them like that. So they ain't really get to know you. We got to work on that time, man, knowing each other. Really saying, I love you well enough to deal with the bullshit that's going to come with you. Because it's going to come with some bullshit. If you got a son or a daughter or a nephew, you be like, yo, this little motherfucker is crazy. But you gotta get through that part in order to get down to who they really are. Because for the most part, we acting out on so many emotions. I'm mad because whatever. I'm trying to express myself. You know what I mean? So if we can get past that, I think we'll be all right. But I think it still just take a lot of time, man, and putting work in. That's the main thing, man. Put that work in and put the time in.
Who's Deyquan?
Man, yo, that's a good question, bro. I'll be looking.
People who don't know you.
Okay.
You know, that's not from Harlem.
Yeah.
Who's Deyquan?
So I'd say, man, yo, I'm a passionate individual, man. That's really just for growth and understanding, man. Every day I wake up and see how can I commit myself to what I'm on, which is bettering myself and my community, but also the experience in life. I ain't too smart or too big or too much of nothing to learn. You know what I mean? So I'm an ever evolving being, you know, here experiencing my time in this space, what we call earth or life or this journey. And whatever I do here, the goal is and the aim is to leave a blueprint and some pathway for some people to follow and come behind that. And I'm gonna make some mistakes along the way. I'm gonna hit some bumps in the road, but you'll see that my overall, the spirit of who I am was for love and growth. And if you can latch on to that, then you're gonna be all right.
Now, people who don't know the UCC headquarters.
Yeah.
What are they offering the community? Like,
Okay.
what can people, when they come in this door, what can they expect when they come in here?
Yeah, so the UCC Universal Currency Chamber is located at 2916 Frederick Douglass Boulevard, Suite 3A. So if you're looking for us, you can find us. That's the address if you're gonna take a Uber, a Lyft, or anything. If you're coming by foot, it's on 154th and 8th Avenue. You can find us on the 3rd floor, top of the laundromat. This is the Underground Railroad, brother. For the folks that's trying to get the freedom, you're gonna get free here. We got the 3 pillars in which I believe, through my research and through my experience, is what we need in our community. In all communities, all black metropolises, you need workforce development. As you can see, we got the workforce development piece. So we getting brothers and sisters gainful employment with a lot of black-owned companies here in our community. We teaching trades, bringing trades back to the community, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, construction, barbering, culinary, teaching people to use their hands to receive gainful employment. We also doing internships right here. So all the young brothers and sisters that got talent, they can email me at info@universalcurrencychamber.org. We willing to hire a lot of our community for all things across the board. So, you know, just reach out to us and we're willing to work together. The second major piece is that STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. That's the present and that's also the future. We're working with the youth, teaching them how to use these computers, use the AI, coding, Python, JavaScript, those kind of things, Scratch, app development, so they can be prepared for the future. They can use this technology. And then we got the main pillar, which is what I stand upon and what I champion, which is that currency curriculum. So we doing everything from your intro to entrepreneurship to we got a Buy Back Harlem campaign where we grabbing up these storefronts. We willing to do syndications. So if you got good credit and he got a little bit of money and this person got the talent, we teaching people how to structure that deal so y'all can come together and make this, you know, thing come to life. And that's really the UCC in a nutshell when we continue to invest in ourselves and our community. Right here in Harlem, we got 3 storefronts right now. And I think we started with what I believe was really important. We got this super center and we got 2 juice bars. One right here that we opened up on Bradhurst on 154th. And we got another one on 135th between 8th Avenue and 7th Avenue, you know, and that's going to be where we healing our people. We're getting them the roots, the burdock, the bladderwrack, the sea moss, We doing turmeric. We got our ginger. You got our maca, our tonka ali, all of the stuff that make us function the right way. So yeah, and we got a whole bunch of hosted things to come, man. And I would say that there's a place that if you can pass through here and see if we can get you some resources going. And really, this ain't no overall philanthropy. We need some folks to give back as well. Commit your time to the space. If you got a talent, we're willing for you to bring it here and help some people and give back, because we definitely gonna be bartering together.
Okay. Relationships.
Yeah.
Are you big on relationships as to build a new foundation in Harlem?
Yeah, I mean, relationships is huge, man. People always say like it ain't what you know, it's who you know, and things like that. But I think those type of phrases or cliche statements, they got a lot of validity to them. So yeah, we all about relationships, because if I can do A and B and you can do C, D, E, F, G, it made sense. You might even be able to do more than me. But being that you had C, D, E, and F, you still ain't have A and B though. So as long as you're able to bring something to the table, I think we should be able to work together. Put pride to the side, like we talked about, or misunderstanding, or generational gaps, or that money piece. I want more than you. You want more. I think that's important, man. We got to build those relationships because everybody we see, that's somebody. Look at how they move. Just study those people. You ain't got to take my word for it. And you want to see, oh, he tapped in with him. She tapped in with her. And it's really a trade-off. You know what I'm saying? So we got to do a great job at building those relationships and trading together, so we can go further and farther.
We're in a new generation where kids they think about drill music.
Yeah.
I know you got relationships with a couple of artists in the game.
Okay.
You ever thought about installing, financial literacy in there?
Yeah, man. I would, beyond the drill situation, I'm gonna tap on the overall, and then I'll bring it back a little narrower to the drill situation. So all artists, right? I think we need a revolution amongst the artists to really teach them this financial piece, because a lot of this advances and a lot of this money that they give you, these people is getting a private equity line of credit, man, and loan, and they able to beat the interest on your back. So you be in debt, they give you 50,000, you in debt for 500,000. If you don't want the CEO dancing all in your video, come to the UCC. We're gonna show you how to build your credit up on the personal side, on the business side. You know how to get some 0% interest financing, and you'll be able to put out your own projects and be your own label, and not end up in that situation where you owe a whole bunch of points off your album, or owning your masters, owning your publishing, and all of that kind of stuff. Because it's a lot of little simple steps, man, from creating a corp to structuring the right way where you got some subsidiary corporations, you're able to expense some things out. It's a few steps that you can do as an artist, and on any level, to protect yourself and also finance yourself. As it pertains to the drill, I think the youth, right? Because they a lot younger than us. Most drill rappers is like 17 to 27. You know what I mean? In that ballpark. Some might be a little older, some might be a little younger. That's the way they express themselves at this point. And I think people only know what they know. And the machine is pushing this. It's monkey see, monkey do. You know what I mean? So if I'm telling you that talking about sex, money, and murder is gonna advance you in life, I'm gonna do what advanced me in life if that's my only outlet. When I was growing up, it was AI. So we working on our handle. We working on getting buckets, working on scoring. Now it's Steph Curry. What the kids working on? They working on shooting from half. They shooting from deep. Monkey see, monkey do. I grew up, it was fab. It was me. Everybody had waves. Rocking a jersey. I'm trying to get on some bras. I ain't want to shoot nobody. I'm trying to, where the chicks at, bro? What we gonna do? You feel me? So now you don't hear no artists rapping about women in a positive light. So I'm gonna treat women in a negative light, because that's what the people I look up to was telling me. And what they talk about in a positive light. How many bodies I got, or how many times I slid for my people, or this and that. So, and that's why, because them people were trying to make money. We changed that money aspect. Now you don't need to be out here shucking and jiving, dancing for money. You already got money. You already in position. Now you could create music that you wanted to make, not create music that you wanted to make money. Those are way different situations. It's money making music and then creative music. Sometime it be a gray area, but a lot of times those shits don't even intersect with each other. You know what I mean? J. Cole, Kendrick, whoever else you gonna name is creative, and then you got the drill. Them shits don't got no intersection. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just where we at right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you, a young you got 10,000 in your pocket.
Yeah.
We thinking about going get the latest pill,
Yeah, for sure.
uh, high end shit, high end clothes, whatever. What you gonna tell a young person, a young you,
Yeah.
got 10,000? What you gonna do with that money?
Man, okay. So it depends on. I'm gonna just make a scenario, right? Let's say they in Harlem in New York, because everywhere got a different twist I would do. You know what I mean? If I was it's a little harder to jump into real estate in New York. Let's say if I was talking to some of the young brothers in Philly or Camden, New Jersey, or Atlanta, I would say you could buy a property. You feel what I'm saying? And jump right in the game with that. So I'll say like a New York young brother, let's say they 21. So you old enough to make your own decisions. You don't necessarily gotta report back to mommy or daddy or grandma, nothing like that. I would say if you got some negatives on your credit, take about 1,000 to 1,500 of that and get your credit situated. Get that credit repair going. I take another 1,500 to 3,000 and I will add some trade lines on my account. I will get my credit strong. So what I'm at 3,000. I got about 7,000 left. I take about another 1,500 to 3,000 and I'm gonna go get me a shelf corp. That's a corporation that already been aged, right? So I got an older EIN number, so I don't have a brand new LLC. So now I'm at 4,000 left. I'm gonna take that 4,000 and I'm gonna go open up. Now I got the shelf corp and I got my credit good. I'm gonna go and do my net 30s, do my Dun and Bradstreet, do a NAV, build up my LLC. That ain't really cost me no bread. I could do that for free. That might cost me another $300. I got about between 3 and 4,000 left. I'm gonna put that in a bank account, right? And I'm gonna let that sit for 2-3 weeks. I'll go to a power bank, Chase, BOA, one of those. I say Chase though. And now I'm gonna holler at the relationship manager. And I'm gonna say, hey, I got an LLC. This all stated income. So I ain't telling somebody to do something that's a lie. Stated could be your projections, what you think you're gonna do, or it could be what you really did. Yo, I made 200,000 on this corp. My credit score is 750, 780. I've been in business for 3, 4, 5 years because the EIN number is age. And I would start shopping myself for those 0% interest credit cards. Chase giving out anywhere between 30 and 70,000 on one credit card. I'm gonna do that at 3, 4, 5, 6 different banks as a 22, 21, 23 year old. And I'm gonna enter the game. Let's say it don't exactly work out for that for you, because sometimes people telling you best case scenario, you can get 30 down. If I get my 10,000 back on a 0% interest credit card 3, 4, 5 times, I'm telling you out of experience, you're gonna get at least 50,000 out the bank on 0% interest credit card with no financials. I ain't telling you something I ain't never did. And now you're in the game. If you're an artist, you're making music, or you're a person that make clothing or anything like that, any type of entrepreneur, you got your startup money. From there, we might have to make a little more of a detailed plan, but now you ain't in a starving position no more. You know what I mean? For somebody that's 20 years old, 50,000 is life changing. You know what I mean? You might not have no kids, you might not have responsibility. You might still be at the crib with moms. In the projects, rent $700 a month, or to pay mom's rent for the year, and still be up 42,000. You know what I mean? So to get busy with. So that's what I would tell a youngster to do. With 10,000 liquid, no responsibilities.
My last question. Black banks.
Yeah.
Are there any more carbon banks?
Man, that's crazy. Once you start speaking about it, I'm about to say Carver. I don't think Carver is black owned no more. Don't quote me on that. Again, I encourage everybody to do their research. At a time, it was a black owned situation, but I think they might have lost the situation as being black. There's a few little small credit unions that's black owned here and there. We don't have like a big that I know of that's like a big national bank. It's ones that's like tucked off in pockets. You know what I mean? I just spoke to a brother yesterday. It's not in America or anything, but I spoke to a brother yesterday about bringing some crops here from Nigeria, right, and having some stuff here in America. And he was saying that it's a black-owned bank. Obviously, Nigeria, so a lot of stuff probably black-owned, but they got a black-owned bank situation that'll be willing to help finance that deal. I'm not really familiar with a lot of black ones. However, we can start our own banks, man. It's not as a lot of times you hear a bank, you think you need 800 billion and this and that. You don't really need that much, man. A lot of our churches, right? Churches could start credit unions based on the offerings of the congregation. You know, so we got 10 million churches in Harlem. Remember, we talked about that working together piece and all of that. We gotta get the reverends and the pastors and the bishops and put that doctrine to the side. You feel what I'm saying? And if you get 5 or 7 or some of these big, huge joints that got 8,000 people, they start a credit union. They could do it because they got the deposits. You feel what I'm saying? And they could start micro lending. They might not be in a position to, like a Chase, to give somebody a 300 grand, but they could loan 5,000. Like we just said, 10,000 is life changing if you do it the right way. 5,000, like if you give 100 people 5,000, big difference. And that's your congregation. That's how I said the Underground Railroad. That's how we map our way out of this joint, man. 500 people with 5,000 is a big situation than just 500 people with 5,000 that ain't by themselves. You can damn they can do nothing. Like you said, if I'm gonna go get a couple pairs of Dior's, a motherfucking Montclair or McQueen coat, yo, you back broke. You ain't even gonna be able to take an Uber home. You feel what I'm saying? But if you got people with you, 1,000 people with you, 100 people with you, it's a different ball game, you know. So I think really that's my. You asked about me earlier, man. I think we can commence on that. I think that's really what my whole life purpose is, man. It's to bring people together. It's to be like, I had strong leadership. I ain't gonna name some of the people I came under, but the people, if you know Polo Grounds, we had some strong leaders, and they kept us together because they ruled with a certain type of rulership, and you ain't had no choice but to follow that doctrine. And my goal is to mimic some of those tactics. It don't necessarily have to be the strong arm tactic. It's to be that strong though. When you got a strong movement, you ain't got no choice but to align with what's going on. So if the strong I am, intelligently, spiritually, financially, and the people around me, we get real strong, a lot of people gonna fall in line. You don't need everybody. The general don't have to be on the same page with the private first class. He got to be on page with the Lance Corporal because he report directly to him. And if we could start creating them type of hierarchies in our community, that's when it get different. And I ain't gonna keep saying if and when because we doing it. You know, I'm living proof of that. You living proof of that. There's a lot of brothers standing on things. So we gonna stick to it. I said it. I ain't got nowhere to be but here, brother. I'm a fresh 35, dog. I'm gonna be here for another 3,000 years. So we gonna put that work in. I ain't even gonna trip.
I'm gonna ask you one question that is a different topic. It's a Harlem topic.
Okay.
Top 3 Harlem producers, music producers.
Man.
Give me 3.
Okay.
Who would you put?
I would say when I was coming up, my guy, we used to talk about the Hill. You got Ron Browse. I remember him as a youngster. He had a impact. I came up. I hate that I skipped over this brother because he had heat when I was a young boy. Dame Grease. Dame had some heat with the whole vacant lot situation. And I would say, man, I gotta forgive me if I'm skipping over somebody. He had some heat most recently, like maybe 5 to 10 years ago. He might still be doing his thing. Remo had some heat. Yeah. He may or may not be from Harlem. I know he had an association with Harlem. I'm just going off the top of my head. Now you got I don't know if these brothers is producers. Somebody in that ASAP situation might make beats or be a producer, you know? But they had some movements. I'm just thinking about movements. Vacant Lot was a movement at a time. They was moving and they was moving strong. The ASAPs was a movement, and they had shit moving. And that whole Get Light type situation, Ron was a big part of that. You feel me? Yeah. I don't know, and there's no disrespect. Somebody got to quote me or tell me if I'm bugging. I don't know how much beats Webb really make. I don't know if he does. Some part of producing is not necessarily hitting the keys. It might be telling somebody to sing at a certain pitch or getting the motherfucker to dance. You feel what I'm saying? So he was a part of that. So I would say those guys were influential in my generation. It might be some people I skipped over. If you those guys, man, salute to you for pushing the needle for the culture.
Now I had, before we end this is going to be my last.
Yo, man, you got all night.
We want to talk legendary songwriters.
Yeah.
Who would you put the top 3? Because me, I'm going with Mace, Cam, and Max.
Okay.
Songwriters.
And we gotta go only Harlem.
Harlem.
All right.
Because, Harlem's,
Yeah.
they have a lot of songwriters who won Grammys, who nominated, and don't get their flowers.
Yeah. So I'm a dig in a. So we just going songwriters. We ain't just going straight spitters. No
songwriters.
Okay, so damn. I'ma say you hit it on close on the head. I would say songwriting, Harlem. I'ma go yes, Mason, Cam. That's 2 for sure. You got to give them that because they depend behind a lot of stuff. We might be liking a song, but ain't even know that Mason Cam put that pen behind that. So I'll give them a lot of credit for that. But I'm gonna shoot you for a loop though, right now. And the nicest rap I ever heard in my life, dog. I tell you no lie, is my man's Carl, man. Carl Joseph, Cashflow Harlem. You can put him in a room with anybody. You can go get Jay-Z, you go get Kendrick Lamar, go get Nas, go get Big L, everybody, Biggie, whoever you want to do, and you say rap. Ain't nobody rapping like that, brother. That's a big fact, dog. Just say rap. Just rap. I seen this man freestyle for 2 hours straight, no stop, just about whatever. Somebody walking by, rap about that. The bus going by, we on train, whatever. So I would put him in my 3, and also he the pen, not to reveal nobody information, but it's a lot of artists you see in the industry. He the pen behind a lot of those people. Some people in most recent years, a couple Harlem people sprinkled in there, and then some big artists. And just do a little hint out there if people want to go do some research. It's 2 big female artists that he the pen behind, to some of their biggest music, or just putting them in solid position. So yeah, we got some folks here in Harlem, man, for sure.
That's a wrap. All access.
Man, appreciate you, brother, for sure. It was a blessing to be here.
Thank you.
My God. Yo, we touched upon some good things, bro.